Hello Pisces, welcome on into your weekly reading with me. This is going to be for the first week of September. Let's see what's going on for you guys for the week ahead, all right? Let's dive straight in. I have been asking everybody if you have any feedback for what you want to see on this channel. I'll be happy to hear it this week. I'm doing a lot of thinking about the channel and what kind of things I want to have on here, etc, etc. So if you have any feedback, then let me know. But anyway, let's see what's going on for you for September. First week of September, please, for Pisces. What is going on for Pisces? What message? Okay, you got higher power. So tapping into your intuition, being able to see beyond surface level things. Let's see what else is coming through. So you guys might be tapping into spirit a bit more. So pay attention to your dreams. Make sure you journal them. Pay attention to some thoughts or synchronicities that might be happening because it's all happening for a reason. All right, anything else? You're connecting to a higher power this week. What messages do you have for Pisces? Last quarter moon, which represents endings in this deck, in Scorpio, saying reveal what needs to be seen, which is quite magical actually, because you are opening up your third eye. So that's interesting. The things that probably are not seen on the surface, which makes sense with the Scorpio energy, right? So there's layers to something. And I just have to say, maybe some of you guys are seeing people's true colors for sure. Or maybe again, you're able to see, just trust your gut instinct, right? You're a Pisces, so you're going to know more than anyone else if something feels a bit fishy or not. So things are being unmasked by your third eye this week. Reveal what needs to be seen. Could be within you as well, right? Maybe there's some answers that you've been needing and Spirit saying you're being given the insight and awareness. All right, but let's dive in. We're gonna use some tea leaf tarot this week. Let's see what other random messages we have for you this week. Okay, thank you. These two together. You have good cards up here. So both says you are highly thought of. Now that could be from a love interest because you have heart next, which says love, deep affection and caring. So some of you do have an admirer around you, whether it be a current partner or someone who might be a new one. And then Lion says time to act. This can also be in terms of career, right? Something that they really want you to remember this week is that you are highly thought of, okay? There's a lot of love, deep affection and caring going on around you. And they are calling for you to act upon maybe what you're seeing this week. Okay, time to act this week. You have wedge and temporary problems, so if it does feel like there's something that might be stopping you from closing out doors or getting what it is that you want, this could be temporary. This is someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something that you want, but this is just a temporary problem. It's not forever. So just remember that. I'm going to put those two together. Sometimes, if you want the sun, the clouds can be a bit of a wedge, right? It could sometimes just be that there could be some confusion that's getting in the way. It doesn't have to be a person, but most of you might relate to it being a person getting in the way of something. Like I said, you probably are starting to see that someone might be stopping you. And I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I feel like you're able to, it doesn't look like it on the surface, but you're actually going, this is a bit weird. Why is it every time I'm trying to do something, you pop up and you try to distract me? It's like that kind of thing. I feel like you're sensing something. Okay, you're reading through people, maybe to their subconscious mind, right? Anyway, let's dive a bit deeper. So you're looking at people's true colors for sure. And I think you're going to be aware of whatever that wedge is, whatever is stopping you from having whatever it is that you want. Okay, what's the overall energy of the first week of September for Pisces? Page of Pentacles. A lot of people have been having, this is a very important week for education. And I actually think September is going to be that for a lot of people, where it's almost a little bit like a month of spring, meaning this feels new energies coming through, where people are learning new things. King of Swords, right? Gaining information, knowledge, details. Let's clarify this. So Page of Pentacles is about educating yourself, enrolling into new classes, right? Learning new things. It's the Apprentice card, so it can also mean that there are some things that you can only really learn in the environment that you want to, let's say you want to be, I don't know, let's say you want to figure out whether you want to be in a specific job. So maybe hanging around certain people, asking them questions, or even hanging around that environment might help you understand whether you want to be in that environment. So like an apprentice, you kind of have to learn on the job too, in the space. You have to kind of put your hands in the dirt, basically, is what I'm seeing here with that. You have to get your hands into what it is that you're wanting. What does that mean? Anyway, let's see. Page of Pentacles is just a page, so it's like the beginning steps, taking the first step into something new is important. All right, anyway, what does this mean for Pisces? Why is this the energy of the week? Page of Pentacles. Thank you. Okay, Four of Pentacles could be a good time for your savings. The Wheel. So that is your seasons are changing. The Four of Pentacles I never really like. As you can see in this card, it shows an element of greed, holding on. Ace of Pentacles. Really good for finances because we also have the Pentacle there. Why is the Four of Pentacles here though as the energy of the week? The Five of Cups and the Nine of Wands. And then the Page. Okay. So Four of Pentacles, outdated ways of thinking, closed mindsets, right? Those never really help us to grow, right? The Four of Pentacles is holding on so tightly to something that you're just becoming your own blockage. And Five of Cups is about disappointment here. So I don't know if this is stubborn people around you or greedy people that might not be helping you to grow and evolve in your company, for example, whatever it is. It just feels like there's some disappointment around this Four of Pentacles. Now, the good news is with the Five of Cups that there is something that we can do to change that disappointment. The Wheel of Fortune does suggest that life is changing seasons right now, which, as I said, I do feel like you're going into a spring time, which is nice. New beginnings, new things, learning new things, a new life, new energy. Six of Swords with the Page of Pentacles is about moving towards calmer waters, right? Leaving the chaos behind and moving towards better days, learning your lessons as you go through. In the Seven of Cups, which does tell me you have a lot of options up ahead, but make sure you're grounding your ideas and your dreams, because the Seven of Cups in this case as well can sometimes be a little bit of delusion. And I don't mean that to offend anyone, but it's like sometimes we just stay as dreamers and never ever have the reality that we desire because we never ground those ideas or never really take action on those options. So this looks a little bit like learning for sure, because both of these I just said are about learning lessons. But Seven of Cups, I'm gonna have to look into that. Maybe you guys are able to see again through some something that might be a little bit fishy going on around you. Could be moving away from that, or fully now taking action on your dreams, desires. We're going to figure it out. Let's see your energy. Let's see how you guys are showing up during the week. Page of Pentacles is a good card though, so I'm not worried about that. I just feel like there's a lot of weird things going on. Okay, what is the energy of Pisces during the first week of September? Oh, you're a bit angry. What is that about? Hanged Man says, look at this through a different perspective. The Page of Swords is a triggered energy. I'm not going to lie. It's also really good for diving into information and knowledge as well. But the Five of Wands, maybe you are revealing something. Five of Wands is conflict and competition. Usually it's immature arguments. Because you have the Page of Swords, you're also in a position of being triggered. I'm going to have to figure out what that is. Why is a Page of Swords in the energy? Okay, because you hold the truth of something. Temperance, I've been patient enough. That's what I'm hearing. I've been patient enough. What's the Five of Wands? Eight of Wands. Okay, I'm actually seeing something nice about this too. Three of Wands, Three of Pentacles. This jumping on top of time to act is really nice here. But if the Five of Wands was... I think you are receiving information about specific people. Could be air signs, right? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Who you could be having a bit of an argument with. But I feel like also this is about procrastination for some as well. Let's talk about it first of all. Like I said, you're kind of understanding maybe people's subconscious things. It doesn't mean that they have to be horrible people, but it does feel like maybe some people are a bit jealous of you or a little bit like not agreeing with your new way of doing things, right? Maybe some people might feel like you're not spending enough time with them, or I don't know, it's almost, but it feels like a blockage to you in whatever way. The Eight of Wands tells me you're going to be getting really clear communication about whatever this Five of Wands is, whether it's internal and that you're seeing things more clearly, or maybe there is like an apology coming from someone that you have had an argument with. I actually quite like that with the Ace of Swords and the Temperance card as well. I think that someone's understanding through their own chaos and feelings and emotions and are going to be sending you maybe a message. It does feel like text message or a phone call, or an email. I don't know. Someone's giving you something that's going to help you bring harmony to that. Ace of Swords, Temperance does feel like someone's going to be apologizing and getting something off their chest that they were not seeing things very clearly in that moment, whatever that means to you. But you are angry at this person for whatever they said or whatever they've done. Next thing I'm getting from this is also you dealing with your own procrastination, right? From the 5 of Wands to the 8 is all about things being lifted, obstacles being lifted. Things are much more clear, fresh. I get fresh energy and things are now running smoothly. We can relax in that energy and things are moving forward with that energy. Whereas the 5 of Wands is a clash. So internally, I do feel like you're going to be understanding why you might be procrastinating or making excuses, or again, just going round and round with yourself. And you're finally going to be getting the answer that you need. Maybe you needed to take some time out for it. Maybe you needed to connect with yourself, right? Temperance is about bringing harmony, taking a pit stop, balancing yourself to then move forward. In that process that you do that, you're also going to be having some clarity about what you need to do moving forward to come out of procrastination mode and being triggered and upset with yourself about not moving forward or whatever, to actually having a plan, a game plan. Okay, and this is why there's a lot more harmony and clarity in your life. So we got a couple of things going on there. The good news is, if it is someone around you that is apologizing for, getting in your way, they didn't realize it. As I said, I don't feel like that person knew what they were doing. So I feel like they're a good person. They maybe just a little bit, you're highly thought of, so maybe they're a bit jealous, right? Which, yes, you can argue, low vibrational, it is, but people can go through it. Not everything in life is perfect and straightforward. So I'm not getting a bad sense here, but for some that will be different. Now, 3 of Wands jumping on top of this. 3 of Wands is kind of like a waiting card. And it's most likely because you have got a bit of a wedge here. The Lion says it's time to act. So I wonder if you've been holding back because of something. So now is the time where you're actually getting the confirmation. It's time to go after what it is that you want and desire. Okay? You're revealing what needs to be seen, where maybe you've been your own wedge, right? Procrastinating and being angry at yourself for not moving forward, but then yet not moving forward, whatever it is to you. Feels like whatever the wedge is being removed. What is the challenge for Pisces this week? The Devil and the Queen of Pentacles. So it could be an earth sign, Capricorn energy coming through. The Devil is about limitations, restrictions, fears, low vibrational energy, addictions, temptations. Queen of Pentacles could also be about the material world, could be your challenge right now. The Devil doesn't have to be bad. In this sense, it is a shadow side though. So it does feel a bit like, let's see. Reveal what needs to be seen. It could be your fears around finances. Could be your fears around abundance. Let's figure it out. Why is the Devil card here as a challenge? The Empress. Could be a mother figure. Doesn't have to be though. The Empress is all about trust, flow, abundance. The Empress also has a moon here, which can also be the shadow side in a way, right? It's our deeper suppressed feelings and emotions. I do think you're going to be processing them to maybe overcome some fears. The Empress is abundant, right? She's able to attract whatever she wants, desires, because she embodies it. So maybe you're understanding your fears so you can again get out your own way and step into an abundant energy. Can I understand what the Devil is? Why is the Devil the challenge here? The 9 of Swords is about your fears. Okay, the fears that might be blocking you. It's always the what ifs, right? Because the King of Wands coming through is your ability to adapt, right? No one really knows 100 steps ahead or what's going to happen. And sometimes things change and that's okay too, right? Not everything is set in stone. At least that's what I believe. Some things are. There's also some room for changes. Now, the King of Wands is your ability to pivot with changes that come up in your life. And maybe you guys are preventing yourself from moving forward because you don't truly believe that you're abundant. You don't truly believe that you're deserving of what you're wanting. And the 9 of Swords is also about like the trying to predict everything, right? Trying to understand everything and the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? So this is really about removing that fear from your life so that you can actually go after what it is you want, because your fears are holding you back. And the Queen of Pentacles being a challenge as well. 5 of Pentacles reverse. So your seasons of financial scarcity is changing. I love that, by the way, because it jumped on top of the wheel as well, which is, again, you're entering a new season. That could be something that you guys are educating yourself on, or again, taking the first step into learning something new that actually is going to really change your financial situation. And then you'll see a lot more of completing your financial goals or material world goals, right? A home or whatever it is that you desire. Contracts. Bringing balance into your life. One more for the Queen of Pentacles. 7 of Swords. On top of what? Temporary problems. The Tower. Ace of Cups, 2 of Cups. Three of Cups, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4? That's crazy. So temporary problem could be this Tower moment, right? Maybe it's about some sort of secret. I don't know exactly. We're going to clarify that. Maybe going against your own budgeting, for example, right? Seven of Swords is like a sneaky energy of going against the plan. So this could be what's changing in terms of finances, could be in terms of your job, right? Could be changing your job, or something's changing here, because Tower is like a big fallout or a really big event happening that does create a bit of distraction, but it does open up also a new beginning in terms of love, right? A partnership, happiness and success and healing. So this looks quite nice of where you're going. What exactly is the Seven of Swords doing here? The Moon, reveal what needs to be seen. Both of those are about secret. Okay, and the King of Cups reverse. Hidden feelings for sure. Some of you may have, gone through a breakup with someone who was hiding things from you, and maybe that made you feel a bit worthless. You blamed yourself in some way, of like, what's wrong with me? Or maybe it did create a shift in your finances, for example, for some, but this is where you're calling your power back. That's changing. That is changing. Reveal what needs to be seen. And the King of Cups could be you again, like not really processing your own feelings and emotions very well. Hidden feelings. Okay, well, let's move over to your advice. Reveal what needs to be seen. You are identifying the wedge. Okay, what's the advice that you have for Pisces this week? Knight of Cups. Okay, so that's about really being open and vulnerable about your feelings. I always say this is a card about, again, going onto the other side. It's like exploring a new realm, and that can sometimes be very scary. And I always describe it like not knowing what's on the other side, but knowing that you want to change your environment, and you want to change something, maybe even yourself. Okay, number 1, trust your instincts. That's your advice. With the High Priestess being here, this is your energy. Follow your gut, follow your guidance. Even if you don't fully know where it's guiding you, it is guiding you somewhere. Sometimes we have to get through that anxiety of like, oh, what's going to happen if I do this? They just want you to move forward. I'm going to clarify it, but I'm going to say as a story to help you understand what I see with this, is that this knight is very familiar with this side of the land that he's got, but he's always wondered what's on the other side. Now, the reason why he's not gone to the other side is because he has to go through this water, which is anxiety, worry, fear. What if I come across something on the other side? I'd rather stay behind on my side where I'm comfortable and familiar. And that could be what the devil card is for you, is your comfort zone. It's keeping you stuck. Your fears are keeping you stuck. It's easier to sit on this side and fear something than to actually go in and maybe experience maybe some good or bad. The unknown, the unfamiliar. Your advice is we get to go into the unknown, the unfamiliar, to go through that emotional barrier of like, oh my God, having to do the thing that you're worried about to get to new territory. Okay, let's clarify what they're talking about here. Why is the Knight of Cups the advice? Why is this the advice? Knight of Swords reverse and the Four of Cups. It's interesting how this jumped on top of this. So not rushing. They don't want you to rush. They don't want you to just go rushing in to something without all the information. I do feel like it's sitting with your feelings. Now, Four of Cups being your advice is usually a card of feeling jaded or bored or rejecting offers, opportunities. So don't rush. If someone's pressuring you to make a decision and it's not the right decision, just to let you know. That's a part of your advice. But I think it's also about coming outside your comfort zone and making your dreams real. And I know that might seem a stretch to you, but it's not. Because the Four of Cups is like wanting to change its environment, but being too stubborn and stuck to actually go up and change it, to make itself happy, right? It's feeling, I'm not really content with my life, but also not going through those difficult feelings of finding a life that you want for yourself, right? The Knight of Cups is a knight for a reason. He's on a journey. So it's time to move. Time to act, time to explore, time to be bold, right? It is vulnerable what you're doing, so the line makes sense here that you're having to be courageous in some way. She's pretty comfy inside, right? She doesn't want to go out in the rain. Who wants to be uncomfortable? And that could be a part of discipline too. Maybe you have to set some routines. Maybe you have to do things differently in your life, and that could be uncomfortable. But that barrier of discomfort is actually the thing that's dividing you from your dreams and goals in a new life. All right, one more. Why is the Knight of Cups here? Any advice? 10 of Wands. That is saying that you're coming to the end of a very difficult journey and you're going to be receiving some good results. I'm also seeing that this is a bit of advice this week not to burn yourself out with too much. Okay, Knight of Wands. Delegates, plan, 5 of Wands, Page of Wands, 2 of Swords. I do see a conflict with you and someone, but I think we've already spoken a bit about that. Someone feels like they're in a bit of a competition with you. I don't feel like that's on your side. Someone sees that on their side. Someone's in competition with you. Any other advice for Pisces? The Tower. When the Tower comes up as advice, it is let something fall apart because it can be rebuilt better, right? If some things don't work out, don't worry about it. Just trust that the universe is working in your favor, right? That Tower is happening for a reason. It's clearing way for new things, or in this case, it's helping you rebuild something better. Sometimes these moments, like arguments, sometimes in relationships, are needed to actually understand how you're feeling. It reveals something a bit. And if you work with it well enough, you're able to rebuild better. For example, right? So I do feel like that's the sense that I'm getting here. Just kind of removing what needs to be removed. It's a little bit of like a spiritual cleanse going on in your environment. But my goodness, Pisces, I hope that made some sense to someone. Let me know in the comment section if it did. Let me know how it fits in your story. If you enjoy these readings, make sure you guys like and subscribe. But aside from that, I'll see you guys next time.